Welcome everyone to this new episode of Leaders Impact podcast. And today I have the honor and the pleasure to have a special guest, really a special guest, Luwana Madison. Welcome, Luwana.
Thank
Happy to have you
you.
in this podcast. So let me talk a little bit about Luana, and then maybe she can give you more details. The more we'll go through this podcast. So Luana was born and raised in Indiana, right? In Indiana. So she received a baccalaureate in biology and minor in chemistry. And also she had an MBA. She decided to serve, and this for 23 years in the United States Army. Wow. Which she retired only in 2016. So, yeah. And since then, she started her own business. And she is now the founder of My Dairy Planner and Journal that you can find on the market or online, right? It is online, Luana.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a planner and a journal. And we'll see during this podcast how uh, this company and endeavors in entrepreneurship of Luana, based on her experience and own growth and leadership journey, how it can help in this pursuit of excellence. So let's start right now by this famous quote of Ralph Madison. Excellence is not a skill, it's an attitude. So we'll start by talking about the, um, the popular thinking of actually what is um, excellence, right, Luana? But before we start by this, maybe Luana, you want to say a word to introduce yourself in more details and how you end up in this podcast as my guest.
Well, like you said, I did serve. I started out enlisted and then I crossed over and became an officer. And from there, I had the opportunity to be a company commander and a battalion XO where I have the experience to lead and mentor soldiers. So I did enjoy doing all of that in my tenure in the military. And as I got ready to retire, it was interesting because as I was thinking about the things that I wanted to do, as I say, in my next life,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go into business. And so that is how um, one reason for why I started my business, because that was something that I had said I wanted to do. And so yeah, and so here I am today um, with my business.
This is amazing. So, what I will what I see is that you're showing an example. Maybe for many other veterans and even some other people. Just to show that sometimes we can serve or we can do something in life, and we have another dream, and sometimes we are blocked because we tend to think like, oh, it's incompatible, like, just like being in the army, for example. But right now, you're showing us that no, there is another life after serving, and it is possible. So if someone has the dream to serve in the army, never think that, well, after serving, I don't know, maybe I will, lose the opportunity to do this and this. So you're showing that you had a dream, you think about it while you were serving the country, and just after that, you will now living your dream, like becoming an entrepreneur. And it is amazing.
Yes.
Wow. So honored to have you as a guest today again, Luana. So let's dive in this uh, topic. That is really one of my favorite, talking about excellence. So there's a popular thinking about excellence, Luana. So this is a little bit what our this is what the picture shows. When we talk about excellence, people generally think about competence and in communications. Some other think about passions and ideas and motivation, innovation. But many things about skills, like doing something, being good at doing something, which is not are actually false. What do you think about?
Well, when I think of skills, it's something that can be taught. Um, so, for instance, um, as a teenager in high school,
Mm-hmm.
I took a sewing class. So I was taught how to sew, and I actually took that course all the way up until when I graduated out of high school. And it is a skill that really isn't taught anymore, unless you have family or someone who can go out of their way to teach someone how to sew. But I honestly believe that when it comes to talking, when you're talking about skills, that's something that is taught and learned.
Exactly. This is a very good thing. Well, we have the popular thinking here that say that excellence is a quality that is often defined as the greatness, the best, the quality of being truly the best something. Like you say, that being good at something, maybe you have learned, that's the quality the people appreciate because it is difficult to achieve. We don't find many people excellent at what they are doing. That's why maybe. But if we dive into this, some definitions of the Oxford Dictionary, you just said something that we can add actually to this definition, because one of the definition of skill is that the ability to do something well. But I do like the one you just gave us, like it is something that can be taught to, and this is true. While an attitude is defined as a settled way of thinking, feeling about someone or something, and typically one that is reflected in person's behavior. And another definition is that excellent attitude. Let's talk about attitude. Is a position of the body proper or implying an action or mental state, and
Mm,
especially in North American informal understanding, attitude is an antagonist manner. But this is really an informal way of understanding the word attitude in North American because, yeah, in my French background and my English studies, I never think about attitude like an antagonist manner. But I discover in North America that it is understood sometimes in an informal way, like an antagonist manner. But anyway, in the three description definitions of what is an attitude, we have the same word that comes like thinking, behavior, manner, state, mental state, and yeah. So all this imply a mindset,
mm-hmm.
behavior, if I can say, a choice, a decision to do something in a certain way.
Yes.
So this is interesting as we are seeing this definition, because that will help us go through uh, what is really what this quote mean when we say that excellence is not just a skill. We can say that it's a skill, but it's more an attitude, like the wanted to go from good to better to best. So how can you relate to this statement? It said excellence is never an accident. It's the result of high intention, sincere effort, intelligent direction, skillful execution, and the vision to see obstacles as opportunities. How can you relate to this mindset? This is deep, right?
Well, yes, yes. And this right here is literally what defines a leader in the military.
Oh,
Because so you have to have a mindset to be able to motivate people to do their best.
yeah,
You have to have a mindset to skillfully execute
sure. Yeah.
orders,
Mm,
training. Um, so for me, this is I actually like that quote. This little quote here, um, because it just reminds me of a whole bunch of things,
mm,
mainly from a lot of stuff that I did in the military, and having been deployed and had soldiers taken soldiers downrange for
yeah.
deployment and coming back.
Mm,
um, that right there in itself, you know, being able to show a skillfulness to where you have trained your soldiers to be able to do their mission, and they
yeah.
can use that trained skill to show their excellence and how well
Mm,
they were trained to save others lives, and to also themselves come back home in one piece, says a lot. Because a lot of people don't come back. And it's not to say that they weren't skillful enough to not come back or anything. It's just that
mm,
sometimes, depending on the type of mission that that individual has to do, can um can end, a person's life because of the
yeah,
mission that they have to do.
yeah.
And I will tell you that is probably one of the hardest mission a person has to do when they do deploy. In You're saving other people's lives, and you're not really putting a value on your own life as you're
Mm,
saving all of
mm,
the other people.
yeah.
And that in itself is an excellence, because even though they are sacrificing themselves,
Mm,
it's less people that is dying,
mm-hmm.
you see.
Amazing.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely think that inviting you with this topic, I have made a very good choice because you explaining something which is amazing about because military just like doctors, we know their importance, but we don't have enough you know opportunity and occasion sometimes to really look at them in the detail of their missions. And what you explain is exactly, I can guess it. It is the high intention, that that's mean to move from just a task to a mission. Like it's not just something that you were asked to, but it is really taking everything that you were asked for like a mission, knowing that behind there is people's lives and
Mhm.
a country's security, and yeah, this can really help you. This can shape your excellence mindset.
Yes.
Yeah. So Yeah, it is exactly what it should mean, actually. Excellence, this is what it should mean: a continuous improvement, operational excellence, like continuous improvement, which mean like in a personal way, and operational excellence, that mean in whatever we are doing, as we are serving as a leader in our result, when we are looking for efficiency, reliability, quality, in everything, we have to have this vision of continuous improvement. So,
Yeah.
what in your experience confirm this statement of Martin? How did you experience, like, experience was an excellence was an attitude?
Hmm. um, so I'm gonna tell you a story, and it's funny to me, but I mean, and that's
Mhm,
only because um, so when I was stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky,
mhm.
I went to air assault school.
Okay.
And so you're looking at a person who was like scared of heights, and I had to go over this obstacle course, and literally, whew, we had some obstacles that you had to climb a good 30 to 40 feet off the ground, okay?
Oh,
And yes, and so, it's like, how do I do this? And I will tell you, and then
mhm.
plus two, at the end, you had to rappel off a tower, and then you had to rappel out of a helicopter, all of it. But
Wow.
you know, prior to getting to the rappelling from the tower and out of the helicopter, the obstacle course was the first thing that you had to complete. And I will tell you, when they say that excellence is not a skill, it's an attitude. Yeah, that is truly a true statement, because I literally I went through that obstacle course 14 times before I got it on the 15th time, where I was able to literally go into air assault school and complete it, rappel from the tower, and then rappel out of the helicopter. So,
Wow.
yes, that was a personal achievement for me, because I was determined I am not going to give up. I was like, I can do this.
Great. Yeah. I like this.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So when
Ah,
it was all said and done and I got my little air sock coin, that coin brought me happiness every time I looked at that coin, because I knew,
yeah. How do you get it?
yes,
Yeah.
there was a lot of dedication and attitude to get that accomplished. Yes.
Yeah. I guess because you could have give up so many times, but
Yes, yes, you're right. And and I want to say people literally have given up on it.
mm,
My first sergeant at the time told me, he was like, wow. He was like, I couldn't believe you really didn't. I was like, well, no, I knew I could do it. That's the reason why I knew I didn't want to give up. I knew I could do it. Now, never in a million years did I think it was going to take me the 15th try
mhm.
to literally complete it and get into the course. No one looks at, how many times it takes us to do something,
Yeah.
and really be able to stick to it. Most of the time we give up after the first try.
Yep.
If you put it
Exactly.
in perspective, most people do give up after the first try. They'd be like, okay, well, maybe this isn't for me. But when you can do something, no
Hmm.
matter how long it takes you, you will create that excellence of an attitude within yourself to be
Yeah,
able to accomplish it.
exactly. This is what is bring to my mind. How did you feel this other experience after, let's say, after the 10th failure? When you were going through that training, how did you feel? It was like you knew how it, you knew better yourself after each failure. How did you feel that thing? Like you were
Well,
getting better, actually.
I mean, it's interesting that you say that because um I would go once it was over with, because the obstacle course, you could go and you can train on the obstacle course. And so whichever part that I didn't pass, I would just go back and I would just train on that a little longer, but I would still go through the whole course. And even at the end, because mind you, at the end of it, you still had to do a 2 mile run. So now, mind you, you are going through a course that's going to wear you out, and then you have to go do a timed 2 mile run. So you had to be able to have enough energy to be able to complete the 2 mile run as well. And so it really was all about how you conserved your energy as you were going through the course to be able to do your 2 mile run to finish it within the allotted time. And that was a lot of training. It was really a lot of training, but I just told myself, you can do this, just stick to it. In the end, it's going to be worth it. And it was worth it for me in the end, because I came out as being aerosol qualified. So, yes,
Yeah. So you were not the same person after each try. And
correct.
this is actually how, let's say, our resilience that we'll see it later in the other slide is also one of the reward of pursuit of excellence. Like
Well,
doing,
yes, but it's also too, like what we talked about in the beginning, the mindset.
exactly,
You really have to have a strong mindset on
sure,
whatever it is that you want to accomplish. And that's
ex-
with anything in life.
exactly,
There are times where people will come in and say you won't make it, but it's up to you as the individual to say, who are you to say that I can't make it?
exactly.
You know, and I think sometimes we as a person can lose themselves as an individual,
Mhm.
because growing up, especially like when you're in school, you have peer pressure, but
Mhm.
people have a tendency to forget about their own will. You have a
Wow.
strong will that you can develop within yourself that can help take you and drive you through life.
Wow. I love what you just said. Yeah, people can be sometimes shaken by others and
Mhm.
environment reactions, and they forget their own will, their own strong will. You're so right. Would you describe yourself as someone who is strong-willed? Like before, you have this experience, sure, in the army, but if let's say that if you were in another area, would you think that you will remain today the same, or you will be uh, the woman you are today? Like this is one of my personality trait. Like
Um, I would say I would, because I mean, as a child growing into a teenager, yes, I had a very strong will.
okay, so this is
So
Luana at the basis, right?
Yes, 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 because even in high school, I mean, I wasn't shaken like most people are. Like, if you wanted to be my friend, you could be my friend. If you did not, I didn't lose any sleep behind it.
you 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 just don't know what you're losing, right? What you're missing.
Right. That was like, well, okay.
All right. All right. So how your experience really, if I can say, strengthen this trait of your personality, how your personal and professional, if I can say, civil experience has strengthened this trait.
um, I think the one thing that I can say growing up, I learned to really put forth
Mm-hmm.
the best me in everything that I did. I also played sports growing up, so um, that in a way helps. You know, playing sports teaches a person a lot of skills as well as skills and
Mm-hmm.
attitude too, because
Yeah.
when there's always a winner and a loser,
Yeah.
and you really have to have the attitude that when you lose, it's okay. Let us be the bigger people and go cheer the winners on. Let's
Mm.
go, because they won. They won it fair and square. So, really being happy for have a sincere happiness for the winners, and learning from where you messed up in that game to make sure that when you play either that same team or another team, that you don't make those same mistakes, and hopefully your team can
Yeah.
come out and be winners, as
Mm.
well. And so to me, um those that was something that I learned from playing sports. You got to have a good attitude about when you win and lose.
And when you win and lose, yeah, yeah, that's great. We're having some super hacks here about excellence, right? So playing sports and cultivating a strong-willed attitude from the very young age also, I think, is can help someone uh, grow in this mindset of always doing her or his best, as this is how we define actually excellence as an attitude. So how can we build excellence? So I have picked some information from this and there, as personally and generally we can build excellence by producing your best in any given situation. Like just Luana, you just said it. Wherever you are in life, you have to like give the best of yourself.
Yes.
So within or without a conductive environment. So your example just show it. Like it's not just because you are winning or you are, uh, I mean, succeeding in something that you have to give the best of yourself. Even though you are in an environment that is not in, or in a situation that is not the best, you have to strive to be better than the last time, and this every time.
Yes.
Like when
And
I hear, yeah, your example, for example, yeah.
yeah, and and I was looking under generality, or generally, where you have integrity as the
Mhm.
first thing on there.
Yeah,
That's very important because you have to be true to yourself in everything that you do.
yeah,
You
thank
know,
you. Yeah,
um,
love it. Yeah.
as an individual, and that's one of um things that can help drive a person as well, being
Mm,
true to you, because you know, even though your mother gave birth to you, you know but
sure.
you know parents are there to guide us, to help us hone in on those um you know attributes, that is what I would say is given to a person,
Mm,
um, so they can grow up and be the best person that they can be, you know.
yeah, yeah. This is so true. Knowing yourself first. Be true to yourself. I really love it. As
Yeah.
a really a result of integrity. And yeah, I truly think that all those people we know in the history who really mark their generation because of their excellence are people who really follow their own path. They never try to copy or to work in someone else's path or be in someone else's shoes. Like they were true to themselves. They believe
Yes.
in their own capacity, in their callings, even though it was sometimes odd. And yeah, learning from our mistakes too is really something that I see that can help us build excellence,
Oh
resilience.
yes.
Yeah, because your example was really amazing. Because I don't think that I would try that much that many times. I really don't think so. But when I was listening to you, I was like, she was not the same after each each test and failure. And when you arrive at the point where you finally got it, I'm sure that you did not just have this point, or I don't know if it was a diploma or certificate, but you had something more valuable than the one maybe who had this certificate at the first or the second time. I'm pretty sure of that. Because yeah, because you gain something personally and academically that's maybe someone else will never try it. They will maybe encounter this the same difficulty, and if I can say it in brackets, in the real life, and they won't have the attitude you had developed, nor the
Yes.
skills. Yeah. So really learning from our mistakes are something that can help us build and grow toward excellence. So what about living in the present?
Almost definitely. That's very important. Making sure that you're living in the present in everything that you do. Um, you and it's interesting because being in the military, not only do you have to live in the present, but you also have to take a little bit of that into the future, because as you prepare orders and as you train, you are training for future events that
Mm,
could arise. We train as we fight in the military, and that's very important, that when you are doing these trainings, that you're making them to be as real as possible within that particular moment in life.
mm,
So that way soldiers understand that when you are actually on the battlefield, you know when they tell you to don your mask because the chemical attack has just happened, if you didn't train properly to don your mask on when you need to don your mask on so you can live, that's saving your own life there.
mhm.
So, it's all very important when you talk about living the present, but also being able to train for the future. So, yeah.
Wow. this definitely encouraged me, in my thinking that military is really a good path to learn, business and many things. There's many um, training training method or program in business entrepreneurship and many other area called boot camp, and it's actually a terms borrowed from the military training and other stuff to show to teach people resiliency and uh, planning, commitment, like ownership, also accountability, flexibility, balance. So we can
Hmm.
see that in building excellence really encompasses many attitude, many if I can say, it's a deep work on ourselves first to be able to achieve or to be good at the skills, just like you say in sport, for example. So
Yes.
uh, let's have a look on this 5 step toward excellence, and maybe we can see what step are we at right now. This would be interesting. I have already identified the step where I am now. So the first one talks about take a fresh look at your life. The second one, increase motivation and set achievable goals. Third step, tackle negative thinking. Fourth step, challenge your comfort zone. And fifth step, learn the tools to make positive change happen. So this is steps. But Luana, let's talk about a little bit about your entrepreneurship idea, or if I can say, the company that you are, your business right now you are building.
Yes, yes.
And yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, as we talk about this 5 step, I mean, your business actually give the right tools to go through this 5 step. Can you talk a little bit about it?
Well, yes. So it's interesting to say that because that's how I actually kind of sort of came up with this with the company. Um, because as I was stating how I retired and I was like I wanted to open a business,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to step back to take a look, at my life and say, okay, here is where you are now. Where do you want to be?
Mm.
And and being able to write out those goals and set those motivations, set motivations to help me to achieve those goals. And I will tell you, um, I learned to have accountability partners. I learned to have planners and journal about the things that I want to do.
Okay.
And when we're talking about tackling negative thinking, I will
Mm-hmm.
tell you one of the things that I have learned, and it's not an easy process, but I have learned how to be in a present mind state focus to the point to
Mm-hmm.
where when I have negative thoughts come up, sit down and write it out. Why am I thinking negative about whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
um, and drill it down to the very lowest level of question you can, take it down to help yourself to get back into your positive thinking realm. And, you can journal all of that so you can see your process, which is one thing that I did do,
Mm-hmm.
in this process is journal a lot of stuff.
Excellent. Yeah.
And And trust me, you will truly challenge your comfort zone, because you have to get out of your comfort zone. You can't stay in, when you're doing something new, you can never stay in your comfort zone.
Yeah, this is true.
you know and the tools that you learn to help you to become an entrepreneur, you learn how to network, you learn how to um, find mentors in the different areas to help you to be able to push you even more into the goal that you're trying to achieve. And
Mm,
so for me, as I was going through literally all five of those steps,
mhm.
the one thing I noticed was I was like, wow, why? How come nobody has updated planners and journals and made it become more digitalized? And so that was something that I was like, you know what? This it'll be something good for me to tackle. Let's bring this on and do this. And don't get me wrong, because sometimes I do write out journals on paper, but then sometimes I don't want to write. I just let me just type or
Okay.
whatever. Or, and nowadays, you just want to speak it and for it to be written on paper,
Yeah.
written down for you. So it's like, yeah, let's make life a little bit more conducive to that. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? And so it helped me to come up with mymaddieDiary.com. And on my site, I will have journal
Mm-hmm.
have planners and journals that will be for sale. And as of right now, we are scheduled for our grand opening about mid September of 2024. And I'm hoping that it really meet the people's needs.
I'm sure it will. With your experience and how you explain how you came to this idea, I'm sure that it will, because it's something that you have think about and experience, and just like the first step said, take a fresh look at your life. You knew what the why, okay, of this business, and I really think that it will help. Personally, I love planners, all kind of planners, because I'm a kind of multitasker person, and if I don't have a planner, I tend to mess up sometimes of things and forget. So, for the other step too, increase motivation and set achievable goals. So, you need to set goals before you can, when you think about it and you achieve goal, you really need, that you say, to write it down or to see it, just like building your vision board,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And the more you have your goal achieved, it increase motivation. But you need to have it, on site like this, be able to assess it, to maybe to question it and say, maybe this goal is too, but you really need to have it somewhere. And what best than a planner,
Yes.
right? And well, nobody will uh, say no about how journaling is a very helpful tool in mental health, in business, right? It really
Yes.
helps you, yes, navigate and manage negative thinking, to come back on track and keep going. Because just like maybe the fourth step should be the third one, because generally when we challenge our comfort zone, we end up in the point like, is it really what I'm supposed to do? Why is it so hard, right? So this is where really we need to talk with ourselves and assess the journey to see. So my Maddie Dairy is I'm sure it would be a good tool, an efficient one. So as I call it, a concrete step toward excellence with Lorna. So I'm really, I'm excited to welcome this planner and journals, and I'm sure that all those who will watch this podcast later will too. So watch for my Maddie Dairy planner and journals online. Maybe we'll have more information about it the more we'll get close to the launch.
Yes, yes. Yes,
Exactly.
there will be more marketing that comes out as we get closer um to our grand opening. So yes.
Sure. All right. So, what would be your takeaway for this for a young entrepreneur or someone who is maybe thinking about starting a new career or someone who is struggling, just in the achievement of their vision, their business or even personal life, and who will listen to this podcast about excellence? What would be?
I would say stay the course, don't give up. Um, it will come to fruition if you truly believe that it will come to fruition. Because I know how hard it is to, or shall I say, how easy it is to give up. You know, it's easy
Mm,
for us to give up. And even with coming up with this planner and journals, I got frustrated in the beginning and
mm,
I almost gave up. And I was like, nope, 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 no. This is something doable. You can do this. And I stuck with it. And come mid September, I'll have a grand opening. So, you know, don't give up on your dream. Whatever you do, don't do that. Don't give up on your dream.
yeah. Don't give up on your dream is the takeaway of my honorable guest, Luwana Madison. So whether you are, I don't know at which step you are, but whether you are now at a step of having a fresh look on your own life or looking how to increase your motivations or really doubting your goals or maybe facing negative thinking, being on the point to give up, just like Luana just said it, because you are challenging your comfort zone, you are going through what we call the stretch zone, and are looking maybe for tools to make this positive change happen. The one takeaway is don't give up on your dream. And I will add, be open to help and and um, and coaching too,
No,
because it
yes, yes,
helps
most definitely.
you to really have more insight and be encouraged by some others' experience and tools and techniques that can really help you uh, keep your head out of the water and give you more motivation to continue. So this was our new episode on excellence with Luana Madison. It was a big pleasure, Luana, to have you with us today. It was insightful. Your experience is really rich and encouraging. So thank you for being with us today, and see you soon in another podcast. Why not?
Well, thank you for having me, and I did enjoy myself.
Yeah, you're really welcome. Thank you so much, and see you soon.
Okay.